now, the Federal High Court in Abuja this past week sacked Julius Abure as the national chairman of Nigeria's Labour Party. In a ruling delivered on Wednesday, presiding judge Peter Luifu cited the Supreme Court verdict of April 4, 2025 to declare former Minister of Finance Senator Nenadi Usman as the valid leader of the party. The court ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize the Senator Usman-led Caretaker Committee as the only valid authority to represent the Labour Party pending the party's national convention. The ruling followed a suit filed by Usman against Abure, the Nigeria Labour Congress, INEC, and others as defendants. Dr. Abayomi Arabambi is National Vice Chairman of Labour Party. He joins me now here on This Day Live on Sunday. Great to have you, Dr. Abayomi Arabambi.
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you for having me here, sir.
Okay, quickly. What's next for the Labour Party? Is this the end of the Labour Party as we know it? Does the Labour Party still matter? A party that was embodied youth aspirations in Nigeria and disrupted the political process. Now the party would seem to be totally in disarray. Even its leadership is in question. What do you think?
Thank you so much, sir. The Honorable Justice Peter Luifu make allusion to statement from the Supreme Court judgment of April 4, where he allegedly said the Supreme Court spoke about the tenure expiration of the current national chairman, and also that the Supreme Court affirmed Nenadi Usman in that judgment of April 4. That we want to say clearly that it is a farce, it is not true. And I know Supreme Court Order 8, Rule 16 of the Supreme Court, and also Section 235 and 287 has made it very clear in the Constitution 1999 has amended that no court have the power or jurisdiction to review the judgment of Supreme Court except they themselves and their plenary of authorities, stated Chukwuka Ezulike in 1986, Olowu and Abolore in 1993. They said every court that jurisdiction, except they themselves that can, and I know you are very astute and a professional.
Arabambi, don't go far.
Now,
don't go far on that score. What Justice Peter Luifu did was to uphold the position of the Supreme Court. So what you are saying, that no court can overturn the Supreme Court, is exactly what he did. And it was relying on the judgment of the Supreme Court. We said, one, that Arabambi had no... I say Arabambi, Julius Abure was not validly chosen as chairman of the party. And that the party, which has the right to follow its own constitution, had chosen a caretaker committee to inquire into the affairs of the party, and that every political party must follow its own constitution. So it's not a case of Justice Peter Luifu overruling the Supreme Court. You cannot do that.
With due respect to you, sir, what you said is not here, sir.
Where? Which document is that?
Yeah, this is the CTC of the Supreme Court judgment. What the court said was that the issue Nenadi predicated this appeal upon was whether it is justiciable for any court to pronounce anybody as national chairman, which Supreme Court answered in affirmative that lower court or themselves lack jurisdiction to pronounce anybody as national chairman. But the same rhetorics is what Justice Peter Luifu knew, that you cannot pronounce, you can't make pronouncement on anybody as national chairman of a political party, because this woman now went, and though there was no copy of this in what was before the judge, no copy of our constitution before what was the judge, our PO and that of INEC was not even considered. And up to today, we are not even have our CTC, but we have filed appeal. But I made it bold to say that I am on an international television. Supreme Court never said Abure was not validly elected. This is it. And that is why I said we will need to escalate this even beyond the shore of Nigeria so that people will not be reading meaning or using tricks, to turn the judgment of Supreme Court. The three issues she has here, Supreme Court is not Father Christmas. She's asking whether court can determine issue of leadership. This is the judgment. But Justice Lifu went to the obiter dictum of the judge. We don't need to study law to know that. When the judge said, may I admonish political parties? May I admonish them? The justice on his own now take that as the ratio decidency of this matter in the one that he determined. So we are out now to tell the narrative to Nigerians that that is not the truth. Two, in issue of tenure expiration, Abure was the national secretary, but he became national secretary in 2019, Akwanga. He became national chairman in 2021. His tenure was supposed to expire in 2023. But in 2023, because of the litigation of Labour Party versus Tinubu, they went to Asaba. They extended his tenure by 1 year. We were supposed to crystallize this in July 2024. But there was a convention duly that followed section 82.1 that said political party must give INEC 21-day notice. And 82.5 said failure to give shall render the outcome nullity. So we followed the constitution, and he was proclaimed the chairman even by the governor of Abure State that was represented by his deputy. And his tenure now started in 2024. But because of what Peter Obi, Governor Lesotho, and the other disobedient people wanted to do, they just want to destabilize our party like they did to Abga, they did to PDP, and now they want to do to the Labour Party. They now started pushing the issue narrative that, his tenure has expired because they are not a member, they just came in between. But I'm telling Nigerians that Akwanga was the first national convention that Abure became national secretary. But because of the damage of our national chairman, he became national chairman, and our former national vice chairman, Southwest, Farouk, who is the now national secretary, was, appointed as the national secretary then, and their tenure expired. But before that, because of the litigation in the Supreme Court, it was Obi that said, okay, let us go and do NEC. All of them were there with the NSC, the TUC, Governor Lesotho, all of them. They now extended it by 1 year, which rested within the power of NEC for you to, extend your tenure. Like I said, in the present APC now, they have extended the tenure of the officers now. Before Tinubu came, somebody was national chairman. After him, the governor of Borno. After him, a lot of people have come on board now, even the former governor of Kano. Until when this one came now, they want to do another one. So it's rested within the power of a party to extend the tenure. So Abure tenure never expired. And Supreme Court in this judgment did not say Abure tenure expire. What the Supreme Court preceded the judgment upon was that, is it justiciable for you to now approach a lower court and say, okay, declare me as the leader or the chairman of a party, which Supreme Court in affirmative say, no, you cannot declare anybody. It is strictly internal issue of the political party, which they have now jumpstart. They now rush before Justice Omotosho. First, this judgment was supposed to be granted by Omotosho. They ran away from that court. They now go to Justice Lifu, who denied us fair hearing, didn't hear the PO of the INEC, he didn't hear the preliminary objection, where we said, Supreme Court said, you don't have the jurisdiction. And it is stated there in section 235 of the Nigerian Constitution has amended that only the Supreme Court can review their judgment. But you now said, the Supreme Court said that, but sir, up to today, we have not been given the CTC. We are praying Justice Lifu will put there the obiter dictum is now a ratio decidency, no problem. Okay. We will go before the NJC to go and clear that.
I think this is very interesting. Politicians become lawyers by osmosis. Going in and out of court, they learn all the terms, and they just either apply or misapply them. But I tell you that I don't think that Justice Lifu is overruling the Supreme Court. He based his judgment on the position of the Supreme Court. Now, and then be careful. If in reviewing his judgment, you are now saying he doesn't understand the law, you are teaching him the law, you could be guilty of contempt. However, what I'm interested in is the point about, Peter Obi is this, Alex Oti is this, Nenadi Usman is this, in your references. Peter Obi has left the party for you.
He has not.
No, he's gone to ADC. But in your press statements, in your articles, you are still on this Peter Obi matter. He says he has left Labour Party, he has gone to ADC. Why are you obsessed with Peter Obi?
No, we are not, sir. He has
No, I mean you personally.
No, he has not tendered resignation up to today. The governor of Kano State has resigned. Everybody saw it. Former Rivers State Governor Rita Michi resigned publicly. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, with due respect, also resigned and joined ADC. It is only Peter Obi that said, I'm joining coalition. There is no party named coalition in Nigeria. We have ADC. He should tender a resignation letter and move. You see, he has two legs in, one here and one here. We know Obi antecedent. He has not left Labour. He was only using Governor Lesotho as a bait to think they can manufacture some power to strangulate Labour Party and, conclude their conquest mission. And that was why they went through this. With regard to this, sir, Governor Lesotho is also aware. I saw a release where he said they follow Supreme Court judgment. No problem. I am on a rise. Anybody that wants to charge me for content, no problem. But for us, let Justice Lifu give us that judgment. And let us see there that he says Supreme Court remove Abure, or they say Abure tenure has expired. We know where to take this matter to.
Okay. Julius Abure has now said he's going to go to the Supreme Court.
No, to appeal.
The Court of Appeal.
Yes.
From Court of Appeal, again, you go back to the Supreme Court.
Yes, sir.
And you know enough law to say that the Supreme Court is the apex court that can only reverse itself. So where does this place the Labour Party? By the time you go through all that process, you guys will not be part of the 2027 election. So what is the future of the party?
No, then that was why we quickly file our appeal, so that at least, with a motion for
But you
urgency.
cannot dictate the pace of the hearing of the case.
The justices knew exactly, just like the PDP matter, everything was set under 3 months because they knew the convention and the rest, they knew the exigency of time. We have been able to put before the law, the law justice of Court of Appeal that this matter primarily will begin in July now, so that at least they will be able to expedite, judgment on this for us to move forward. But to your question, this is their, style. They just wanted Labour Party to be strangulated because we didn't give them that platform to use. Because as far as we are concerned, Governor Lesotho is not running for any election in 2027. Obi is not ready for election in 2027. They knew what they wanted to use Labour Party for, and we also knew what they wanted to use Labour Party for, and this is the fulcrum of the division between the two of us.
Governor Alex Obi has not left the Labour Party. He has said he's not leaving. So how can you be so sure he will not run in 2027?
No, he's not in Labour Party. We did the local government election, and for the first time, Governor Lesotho created history in the Guinness Book of Record where he gave all the seat to the Labour Party. So he knew he's not in Labour Party.
No,
all the local government elections.
So.
No, we know he's just trying to play some political rat matters with us. We are not babies. He gave all the local government to the Labour Party. So he has been able to create, record for himself in the Guinness Book of Record.
Okay, where would the Labour Party be without Peter Obi and the obedience?
Well, obedience.
And now you say you are pushing out Governor Alex Obi.
Yeah, well,
what is left?
With due respect, Peter Obi has always been who he was before he came. And even when he started this division, we have had over 4 or 5 of circle election that he campaigned with the candidate and they scored 0 because he knew, Nigeria now know the kind of characters that Obi is. So they don't trust him anymore.
He can sue you for defamation?
No.
You are maligning him.
No, they score 0. You follow, he campaigned in Ondo, he campaigned even look at the election of Namba, APC defeated him. That one is not my name. APC defeated him in his ward. So, what does he have to tell Nigeria again? Obi, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the spent forces because Labour Party actually helped him. And I will say why we helped him. The answers was what actually, propelled Labour Party, not him, because people were tired of the scandalous 8 years administration of the former president. They were also not interested in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu coming on board. They were not interested in Atiku PDP, who him and his boss sponsor. They were able to import that client to Nigeria with $16 billion. So the only option left for them is for them to now come to Labour. And when they're in Labour, the man at the end of the affair was Peter Obi, and that was why he came, and just manage, to ride on their back. Professor Abure told me and the third for they came into Labour Party before him, but he just ride on that, and he now thought, oh, that is just, the end of everything. But at the end of the day, when he started misbehaving, Abure supported him, the party supported him, everybody supported him. He now thought with what he did in Abga, when he was, he was asked to leave, what he did PDP when he was asked to leave, he can also repeat that in the Labour Party. But I can speak to you today. Let ADC give Obi ticket. They will come in distant 40.
They will do what?
They will come in distant 40 in that election.
Are you working for the APC?
No, I said they will come in distant 40. We will even defeat him.
Why are you so sure? It's the Nigerian people that will determine that.
That's what I'm saying. The Nigerian people determine his fate in his own word, in his agulu, in his own word. When you lose in your word, that means you are no more inconsequential. Because it was a governorship election, but later he came with no narrative. And playing championship league, they are playing Nigerian professional league.
Okay, but do you accept that as at this moment, by the ruling of the Federal High Court of Justice Peter Lifu, the valid authority in charge of the Labour Party is the 29-member Caretaker Committee led by former Minister Nenadi Usman?
That is why you find motion for stay of execution. Because Justice Lifu knew in what they presented to him that Peter Obi and Governor Lesoti were the one that conveyed that NEC meeting. And knowing fully well, Justice Lifu know that Part 2, Sub 12(3) of the Regulation and Guideline of Political Parties 2022 provide that National Chairman and National Secretary of the party shall jointly sign notice of convention, congresses, conferences, and meetings and submit same to the commission. He knew Obi was not even member of NEC, and Lesoti is the only member of NEC. The two of them collided to sign notice of NEC meeting. They now purportedly appointed Nenadi, a member of PDP, into our own party, and a judge will not tell us that that person is our chairman. That's why I find motion for stay of execution of the matter, even though the judge, as far as I'm concerned, absconded from office, because he had no right not to have given us the CTC of such a contentious judgment. He was not supposed not to have given us, but they knew. They knew what they were doing, and we also knew what we were doing up to today, sir. You gave such a contentious judgment, and the judge was nowhere to be found to give us certified true copy. Knowing fully well that we must have. We have to file an appeal within certain specified day. He's just trying to play to the gallery, but we finally maybe we'll do any amendment later. But for us, the valid chairman of Labour Party remained Barrister Julius Abure until when a court of appeal will take decision, because we find motion for stay of execution of that judicial ban treaty judgment. We have find motion for stay of execution.
Dr. Arabambi, the Inewe Convention,
yes, sir,
that purportedly reaffirmed Julius Abure as chairman of the Labour Party. INEC itself said it had no CTC, certified true copy of any evidence to that effect. And that was on the basis of the ruling by the Supreme Court as presented by Justice Inyang Okoro. And so you are saying Lifu doesn't know his law, the Supreme Court justices don't know law, it's only politicians who can interpret the law. That's the funny part of this conversation.
We have 48 pages judgment there, sir. There is nowhere. Is it just the narrative being sold by their own people?
By
to the public?
Supreme Court
no,
and the High Court the Court of Appeal?
The disobedient Mr. Peter Obi and their group. Now, sir, this is electoral 2022. For the convention, they said every Section 22 said every political party shall give the commission at least 21-day notice of any convention, congresses, conference, and meeting. But 5 says failure of a political party to notify the commission as stated in Section 1 shall render the convention, congress, conference, meeting invalid. This is on its own cannot be controverted by anybody. Now, for the fact that we form INEC didn't come does not invalidate our convention. That is the, because who are the member of convention? The member of convention were there. So that does not invalidate it. What the constitution says is that if you don't inform them, that your meeting will be invalidated. That is one. We have the CTC of that convention is returned. We submitted it. And that was why in this suit before Justice Peter Lifu, the INEC filed a preliminary objection that we are the recognized executive, one, and that court lacked jurisdiction. Two, they said they don't even know Nenadi. That the name that produced Nenadi is illegal. It does not conform with our constitution. And do not forget, even in Rivers State during Senator Magnus Abe, the justice of the Supreme Court said parties must obey their constitution. So we obeyed our constitution, we constituted our neck, and we have our executive in place, led by Barrister Julius Abure, which is not a contest.
Abayomi Arabambi. Since this matter is going to go to the Court of Appeal and go all the way to the Supreme Court, I think, you know, the learned justices will be able to determine the matter. It's not really a matter for laymen to pronounce upon. So we'll see. We'll wait for what comes out. But the thing is about the destiny, the future of the Labour Party, a party that once held so much promise that is now mired in controversy and, conflict. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.